Good evening. Today we are going to be learning how to make sweet tea. You're going to need a couple things before you start your sweet tea. You're going to need a pot, or a saucepan as people call it. Water, we're going to be using just tap water. Sugar with a measuring cup, that is, I have mine already in my sugar for convenience. A funnel, this is going to help put everything into your jug because I use a tea jug, like a gallon sized jug. And then you are also going to want to have 8 packets of tea. Okay. First things first, you're going to want to fill up your saucepan with about 3/4 of the way of water. Enough to where it's going to be the right amount to fill into the jug, but it's also going to leave you room in case it boils over. Once you're done with that, move it over to your stove, and with this you are going to be using your stove as a caution. Make sure that you do not touch it whenever it is hot because it will cause you injuries. Once you've done with that, you are going to start opening up your packets here. With your packets, you just pull them out, make sure you don't have the paper with them, and start putting them in your water. Now once you have all your tea packets into your water, what you're going to want to do is find a burner that you like on your stove, and you're going to want to turn it to like a medium to high heat. It's going to make it where it boils a little bit faster, but it's not going to get out of hand. I like to do mine about a 7 on my stove, depending on how y'all stoves work. Once you're done with that, you are going to want to take your jug that you have, and you're going to want to start getting it prepped for whenever that tea is done. So we're going to fill it with water. You don't need a lot, maybe 1/4 of the way full. It's just going to be enough to where you can have the sugar in there, and it will help with the mixing process of it. Okay, now that I have my water in there, I got it about 1/4 of the way full. You're going to want to take your funnel. This is going to keep you from making any spillage problems. Makes it a little bit easier, no mess. Use your funnel, and the sugar is completely up to you. You can put however much or however little you want. For me and my family, we don't like our tea extremely sweet, so I do about 1 cup, a little over, because I don't measure it completely. And you put it into your water. Okay, I'm using a 1/2 cup measuring scoop. That's why it takes me 2 scoops. You can use whatever size you want. Once you have that in there, you can remove your funnel, set it off to the side because you're going to need that for later. Take your jug and mix it. This is just going to get the sugar from where it doesn't stick on the bottom, mixes in with your water already for whenever you're ready to mix everything. Okay, we are back, and I don't know if you can see, but our tea is officially starting to boil. I will show you all that real quick. That's about what you want it to look like, is the tea just starting to boil like that. Once you get it to that, what you're going to want to do is take it off of the direct heat and set it over on a cooler burner, and you're going to leave it there for about 5 minutes or so. That is going to give it time to steep and make the strong coffee or tea flavor. We will be back, and I will show you what you do after it's steeped for a little while. Alright, now that you've had time for your tea to steep to whatever level you want to, however long you want to grab your funnel, or if you have an open face jug, you can just dump it in. But then you're going to take your tea very carefully because it is still hot, and you're going to want to dump it into your jug. And this is the important part. You want to keep all of your tea bags still in there, and the reason why I do that is to keep the tea flavor going. Fill up that water 2 more times and dump it in. Repeat process. Once you're finished doing that, you're just going to want to fill up the rest of it with water. I prefer cold water, and that way it is going to cool it off just a tad in case you want to drink it before you let it sit in the refrigerator. So you're just going to fill it up to the top. Once there, go ahead and cap it, and you can either stir it or shake it. I do the shaking method because of the jug I use. So you take it like that and shake it around again. Make sure you look at the bottom, get all that sugar off of there. After this, you just set it into the refrigerator and let it cool, and then it's ready to serve. And there you have it. You have just made homemade sweet tea.